Welcome to the Quiraing Circuit. Located on the Trotternish ridge in the most northern part of Skye, it is a landscape adorned with dramatic cliffs and rock spires piercing through the mist, and rugged valleys carved by landslides that apparently still occur to this day. It is actually the largest active landslide in the UK and is often described as one of the most spectacular geological landscapes. It really is one of those places that you need to see with your own eyes, because no photo or video you're ever going to see will ever do it justice. And I say this because I spent a long time looking through photos and videos, and as I sat there saying, yeah, this looks really nice, I didn't realize how much of an understatement that was. The scale and beauty of everything when you get there is just wow. As you approach the dramatic cliffs for the first time, it honestly felt like leaving the UK and entering some fantasy landscape in real time. This loop hike is 4.5 miles with an elevation gain of 1,354 feet. It's marked as a hard on all trails, but I think anybody with moderate fitness will be more than capable. It is a rocky and rugged trail, and the paths are narrow in certain areas. Actually, it's narrow in a lot of areas, and you'll be sharing a single track with lots of people and sheep, and there are short sharp drops which may require a tiny bit of scrambling, but nothing very technical. There are steep sections at the halfway mark and at the end depending on which way you go on the loop. If you're following all trails, it will suggest going up the stairs at the beginning first, but I highly recommend taking the lower route first. The lower route is more fun and rugged, there's scrambling and the trail weaves you in and out of rock spires and up small cliff formations. There's just a lot more happening on the lower route.
It's gonna blow away though, that's the thing.
Hold on to it.
Yeah. Gonna lose my jacket.
I say this was the only section that was a little bit spooky, only because it was blowing a hoolie and there's a very narrow section that you need to cross, although it's very short. But the wind gusts were so strong that it did make me wobble a little. I imagine it's less intimidating in calmer conditions. When you reach the halfway mark, there is a very steep hill climb. In wet conditions, it's very muddy and slippy, which is why I suggest taking the lower route first and then going up the hill instead of going down the hill in a slippery mud bath. Before going up to the ridge, I recommend hopping across to this little cliffy viewpoint which overlooks the valley you just crossed. The views are spectacular. It's very exposed on top of any of these cliffs, and the weather turns every 10 minutes or so, so just make sure that you have the appropriate clothing.
Oh my.
Once you've battled the mud and made it up the hill, you get to enjoy a panoramic view of the Quiraing, views across the Staffin Bay and the coastline, and on a clear day, even the mainland mountains.
It's so dead when the sun starts.
Yes. Up to the top of the Quiraing point. It is super windy up here, but spectacular.
And your very last vista before returning to the car park is a sweeping view of the distant ridges. Some info on the logistics: I did this hike in the middle of May, just before the school holiday. The drive to the car park was very narrow with some hairpin turns, but there are plenty of passing points. If you drive in the UK countryside, then you already kind of know what to expect. I highly suggest getting there earlier than you plan to. We got there at around 10:30 AM and the car park was already very full. All in all, really beautiful hike, and I think it's definitely one of those ones you need to do at least once in your lifetime. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you out there.